Good morning, it's Yandama. I'm here to just do an introductory video for my YouTube channel, but I'm going to be sharing the video on Facebook as well. So pretty much it's an introductory video for my new social media. All right, my new journey, my new topic of conversation. Okay, this is what this video is about. So, if you've been around me on social media, if you've known me over the years, I used to preach Jesus. I used to preach the gospel of Christianity. Okay. Um, but I'm on a different journey. All right. I'm on a different path, on a different journey. I received my spiritual awakening from the universe, and and I came out of Christianity and out of the Bible, and I'm going to be telling all those stories, okay, because that's the story of my life, all right? And I'm here. I'm a storyteller, okay? I'm a storyteller. I, I'm a Gemini sun, okay? And Gemini tells stories. Gemini is a storyteller, okay? And I tell true stories, not no fake stories. So I'm going to tell the story of my life on my social media. This is the reason why I'm here. I'm not here to tell anybody else's story like I used to do when I was a Christian. I didn't know any better. I was telling the story of a so-called Jesus, but the universe opened my eyes later on, and I came out of that falsehood because Christianity is a lie. Let me just say it right now. The universe gave me a spiritual awakening out of the Bible, okay? It came in 3 stages, all right? And it lasted 15 months, okay? And so I dropped each portion of the Bible as the awakening came, as the removal of the veil took place. Because I believe the universe removed the veil from my eyes, all right? Because my spiritual awakening happened not because I was listening to somebody who told me that the Bible is a lie. And believe me, the Bible is a lie. I mean, there are many, many, many universal truths in the Bible, which I still hold on to, and I will love them forever. All right? But the Bible is a lie in the sense that the definition of God is a lie. The identity of God is a lie. Our identity, the identity of humanity is a lie. The need for a Messiah is a lie. The identity of a Messiah is a lie. Just all of those core Bible doctrines. And I also want to say the Bible, the Christian Bible, which is made up of both an Old Testament and a New Testament. There are actually 2 books that teach 2 different religions, but the inventors of Christianity merged those 2 books and put them in one binder and called it a Bible to validate their false religion of Christianity. Okay, but this video is not about that, but it's just a breakdown. I just want you to have a feel of what my channel is about. I just want you to have a feel of what my conversation is going to be about. Okay, all right. And so I'm going to be sharing all those stories. All right, I'm going to be sharing about but I'm also writing a book, so it's not all about what I'll be sharing. I'm not going to be sharing all the details in my videos, which I already have really over the years, over the last couple of years of my spiritual awakening. I posted a lot, but I've deleted my old Facebook and my old YouTube. My old YouTube channels, I deleted. My old Facebook profiles, I deleted, and I'm starting afresh. All right, because I built those Facebook profile and YouTube channel when I was a Christian preaching Jesus. I was known for Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. I'm no longer that. Okay, Jesus is nobody to me. Okay, New Testament is nothing to me. Bible is nothing to me. Hebrew Bible or Christian Bible, Old Testament or New Testament, they're nothing to me. Okay, like I said, I hold on to the good universal truths that are contained in that book. The same way I would read the Bhagavad Gita, all right, and hold on to universal truths that are in that book, or any other so-called holy book that I would read and hold on to universal truths that are in those books. But I will not hold on to false teachings to made up shit. Okay? Yes. And on this channel and on this profile, I use the F word and the S word. Yes, I love the word shit. Bullshit. Because that Bible is bullshit. In fact, after I came out of the Bible, I began to spell Bible B-U-Y dash B-U-L-L. Because you're buying bull, as in bullshit. All right? Buy bull. B-U-Y dash B-U-L-L. Okay? All right. So yeah. And after the universe got me out of the false religion of Christianity, out of the false Bible of the false God of Abraham, which really turned out to be an alien entity, a higher being, but an alien entity who is not the true almighty God of the universe. All right? An alien entity referred to as Anunnaki. Okay. So after the universe got me out of all that bullshit that I believed for 51 years of my life, yes, 51 years, because I was born into Abrahamic bullshit. My mom was a Muslim when I was born. And so for the first 20 years of my life, I was exposed to Islam. In fact, when I was a little girl, my mom hired an Arabic teacher to come to our house. I don't remember how many days a week. I don't know if it was 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. But that man came to our house like every day, almost every day, to teach me and my little brothers. All right, to teach us Quran. I don't know if my big brother was sitting with us. I don't remember, but my little brothers were there. And he would teach us Quran, and my cousin. Yeah. And so I was exposed to Islam. And my first 20 years of life, especially, like from maybe 6 years old, whatever, to 20, I was exposed to Islam. And then I shifted into Christianity. I gave my life to Christ. I heard the gospel of Jesus Christ. I gave my life to Christ. All right. And then I stayed a Christian for 31 years. Well, 30 years plus. All right. I had my moments of backsliding in there. Okay. When I came to America. But then I was, as they say, hot on fire for Jesus for most of it. And I preached that gospel like my life depended on it, because I believed it with all my heart, and I was committed and dedicated to it. All right. And then the universe started to open my eyes, remove the veil. My spiritual awakening started. And then I began to drop it. The first thing I dropped was Paul the Apostle. All right. And then I stayed just following Jesus. And Paul the Apostle was my favorite apostle, okay, over the years. But then I saw that he was a bullshit apostle. He preached a different gospel from what Jesus preached. And so I dropped his ass. Yes, I used the A word too. All right. And then I stayed following Jesus for 9 months, just focusing on Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, okay? And the Old Testament, because I loved that Old Testament. I loved the law of Moses, the commandments, the teachings of Moses, the teachings of the Old Testament, the Psalms, the Proverbs, all of that, Ecclesiastes, all of that. Anywho, Jeremiah and whatnot. But anywho, 9 months later, the universe removed the other veil, and I saw that Jesus, the big one, Jesus, was a bullshit Messiah. Jesus is nobody's Messiah. Jesus was not sent. Jesus did not die for anybody's sins. Jesus is not the fucking Son of God. Oh, yeah, I did already say I used the F word. So I saw that. See, when the veil is removed, there's no explanation needed. You read. See, I was reading those same verses that I had been reading for years, meditating on for years, assimilating for years, preaching for years. But then I saw that, no, Jesus is not a Messiah. Jesus was not even born by a virgin. No, there is no confirmation of a so-called virgin birth in the so-called Old Testament, in Isaiah chapter, chapter 7 or wherever. No, This, whatever Matthew says, whatever New Testament says, it is not here in the Old Testament. No, there is no proof of that. This is bullshit. All right? And the God of the Old Testament, the God of Abraham and Moses, never said he was going to send a son to die for him. He was going to come and die for our sins. And so when you repent and you put your faith in my sacrifice, I will save you forever and ever from hell. That's a lie. John 3:16 is bullshit. All right? That's bullshit. There's so many ways to explain that. But anyways, so I dropped Jesus' ass. I did. And then I held on because I was not going to become an atheist. Okay, because I know in my Noah that there is something bigger. All of this did not just appear from nowhere. A big bang of nothingness. No. So I held on to the God of Abraham, Old Testament. In fact, I was listening to Jewish rabbis. All right. And then I ordered a Tanakh. I did not even want to read the Christian Old Testament because in their translation of it from Hebrew to English, they manipulated some of the words to make it preach about a Jesus. Okay? To make it seem like a Jesus was going to come. All right? So I bought a Tanakh, which is the Hebrew Bible, which Christians call the Old Testament, but this is by the Jews who don't follow Christianity. All right, it is their translation. Okay, so I bought a Tanakh and I loved it. And I was reading the Tanakh. I was like, yeah, God of Moses, God of Abraham is my God, the true God. I'm no longer following a false Messiah. I'm only following Yod He Vav He. You know, capital Y, capital V, capital H, capital V. That's the name of the God of Abraham, the God of Moses. Yod He Vav He. All right. Christians wrongly translate it as Jehovah. Nobody gave them vowels for it. It is Yod He Vav He. All right. Vav He. There's a way to pronounce it that it's the weird sound. Okay. It's not Jehovah or Yahweh. Okay. Anyways, so I was, schmoozing over there with Yod He Vav He, the God of Moses, the only true and living God, until the universe dropped the big one, the final one. All right, and removed the final veil, snatched it from my eyes, and showed me that God, Genesis, and let there be light, and there was light, and God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Bullshit. That God is not the God of the universe. That God is an alien entity. It is not the only true and living God of the universe. That God was also created. It's not the creator of all things. Yes, those beings, because the so-called God of Genesis is not one God. It's not one being. That is the lie that the Jews are selling to the world, okay? Because they're selling monotheism. Because that liar, they have a God who wants to be worshipped as the only true and living God. That God is no different from what the so-called Bible refers to as the God of the Babylonians. Like Dagon or Dagon, the God of the Philistines, or whosoever. That Bible names a bunch of other gods, alien beings. When I was a Christian, I was so ignorant. I thought, my ignorance came in levels. That's what the Bible will do to you. It'll make you blind. It'll make you ignorant. And your ignorance will come in levels, okay? So I was so ignorant. I thought these so-called false gods of the Philistines, of the Babylonians, of all the other people who did not worship the God of Israel, I thought they were fake. I thought they were just made up shit by these people. But no, those entities were real. They were real entities just as the God of Israel. Okay? They were all like brothers and cousins and relatives. They were all higher beings from other planets. All right? There's a whole theory about that, about how humans were created, about how the Anunnaki, okay, the sky beings, the people came from the sky, all right? The sons of, what's the name of their father? Anu? Is it Anu? Anyway, Anunnaki, the children of Anu, something like that. I don't remember, but you can go on YouTube, you can go Google, you can read up on the Anunnaki. Anywho, All of this shit is bullshit. All right. Now, clearly, we came from somewhere. Clearly, somebody is God of the universe, but it is not what that Bible says. All right. So the universe took me out of all that stuff, and the universe has guided me to what I refer to as amazing, mystical, metaphysical, occultic systems that the universe has given us to understand ourselves. Understand ourselves at a cellular level, a cosmic cellular level. Like, because when I was a Christian, my biggest question was, who am I? Why was I created? What is my purpose in this world? Because I understood that this world is so fucked up that why the hell am I here? I mean, if this God, and listen, even though I believed that gospel and lived it and preached it for many years, I never stopped asking questions. I asked God, I asked the God of the Bible, Jesus, whatever, questions directly. I never announced it and asked pastors and asked, no pastors can tell me shit because they all believe the same script. And as a Christian, I always knew I had the same access to this God that any pastor or bishop or reverend or PhD in theology has. So I always took my questions and I never stopped asking, God, Lord, if you are God, if you're omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, meaning you know all things all at the same time, you never learn anything new because you already know the end from the beginning. Why did you create Lucifer? When you knew this Lucifer would turn into Satan, will disobey you, and then he would go and tempt your humans, your innocent, perfect humans in the Garden of Eden and cause them to commit sin. And then you will create a lake of fire to send them into a hell. Like, why would you do all that if you were omniscient? I don't understand it. So at the time, my spiritual handlers, I refer to them now as my spiritual Christian handlers. Because let me tell you, humanity is controlled, guided, and controlled by the cosmos. And the universe has allowed these false religions in our lives for its purposes. Reincarnation is real. Karma is real. Okay. There's so much going on in the universe that we don't understand when we're in those false religions, because they focus us on learning about some God outside of ourselves, some kingdom outside of ourselves, when we need to understand ourselves. This is why we're here. We're not just here to go to school and work and pay bills and have families or whatever and die. We're here to transform. We're here to awaken to ourselves. Everybody's spiritual awakening happens in its own way. All right, because we are so unique and so individual, like it's amazing. So the systems that the universe has brought me to understand myself, and let me tell you, I stay mind blown. Like astrology, and I'm not talking about Western astrology. I started with Western astrology, but Western astrology is a deception, the same way as religion, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam are. All right, you see, Christianity, the religions of Abraham, the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, they will tell you about a God. They will tell you about how to worship this God. They will tell you about how to be a good person. They will tell you about how to pursue holiness. They will tell you about how to do good deeds. But the God that they're telling you about is false. All right? The methods they're telling you about how to be holy are false. Okay? And they give you false promises. It's the same thing as Western tropical astrology. When I first discovered Western tropical astrology, I always knew about it back in the day, but I never paid attention to it because as a Christian, as a Bible-following, Bible-believing Christian at all those years, I abstained from it because, the Bible and Christianity teach that astrology is evil. like it's demonic. All those things are, And I used the term occultic earlier, and I love it. Occultic does not mean evil. It just means hidden knowledge. Now, some people, yes, some people definitely use this hidden knowledge for wicked purposes. Well, I'm not those people. I'm on the side of the light. Okay, I love the light. All right, we are light. All right, I'm not trying to corrupt my light and be part of the darkness. No, there is light and darkness in this world. All right, so but what I'm trying to say is, so now I'm understanding my life, and not just my life, I'm understanding everybody else's life and humanity and our purpose for being here and what the fuck is going on in this world. Why this world is so messed up. Why is there pain and sadness and sorrow and goodness and lavish stuff? Some people live like, oh my gosh, like it's heaven on earth, and some people live like it's hell on earth. Like, why is everything going on? Why do we go through the cycles and the seasons of our life? Why are we the way we are? Why do we like what we like and don't like what we don't like? Why do these things happen? Why do all these murders and all this violence happen? Like, why? Through Vedic astrology, because I discovered that Vedic astrology is truth compared to Western astrology. All right. So I'm not trying to be dogmatic about it, but I am a little bit, because I have studied my birth chart in Western astrology and seen the zodiac placements and planetary placements Western astrology gave me, assigned to my life. And I know what resonates and what does not. And I've studied my Vedic chart and everything. You know how my Vedic chart, it fits like a glove. I don't have to force anything in. I don't have to try to explain anything to make it make sense. My Vedic chart placements, they fit like a glove. That is me, exactly. When it says I had Saturn in Taurus when I was born, I had Saturn in Taurus when I was born, because the effects of Saturn in Taurus have been the big story of my life, all my adult life in America. So when it said I had Venus in Taurus when I was born, I had Venus in Taurus when I was born, because Venus in Taurus has been my life, all right? Compared to the Western astrology chart, which says I had Saturn in Gemini and Venus in Gemini when I was born. That's a lie. I have never experienced Venus or Saturn in Gemini in my life, because those challenges and those effects are different from Saturn and Venus in Taurus. So I'm understanding my life through astrology, Vedic astrology to be more precise. And then there's also numerology. I absolutely love numerology, but astrology is my favorite because astrology explains more details. Well, numerology also gives details about my karmic stuff, like past life situations, karmic stuff, but astrology goes in depth a little bit in a different way. I love them both. Anywho, I also love things like tarot. I'm just beginning to learn it. In fact, I have not touched my tarot cards in a while, in months now. But yes, I'm going to get back to that. But I've just been focused on learning Vedic astrology, understanding myself more and more through Vedic astrology and sharing. And so now I'm not going to wait, because I think that's the mistake. That's what I've been doing. Maybe it's not a mistake. It was meant to be this way. I'm not going to wait till everything is perfect, till I know everything before I share. No, because life is progressive. Every day is different from the next. I learn and grow. And so from where I am, that is what I'm going to be sharing. I'm not going to wait till, oh my gosh, till I finish this astrology course. I'm not taking any formal astrology course. I learn informally, all right? There's a wealth of Vedic astrology videos on YouTube, where Vedic astrologers teach you how to study a chart, what everything means, and how to interpret it. And so I'm taking advantage of all those free resources. And eventually, if I feel like taking a formal course, pay for a course, sign up and take a course, I will do it. But for now, I have so much to enjoy, so much to learn from for free on YouTube University. All right. So, but anyways, this is what I want to share. And So I just want to say, if you're on a similar journey, all right, if you if you're on a similar journey, if if you've always had these questions, let's say you're a Christian, okay, but you've always had these questions, something doesn't just feel right to you. You've always had these questions about the Bible, about Genesis, the creation story, or why did Jesus have to die for the sins of the world? Why did he wait till that time? How about this, that, whatever. If it just doesn't make fucking sense to you and you want answers, all right, I'm not going to say I can give you all the answers, but I can share my story with you. And when I publish my book, you can buy it and read it. All right? Because you'll see the similarities. Things will stand out to you. You know, things that opened my eyes, things that showed me, the way out of the lies might stand out to you. I don't know. But anywho, if you're on a similar journey, if you recently came out of religion and you're finding yourself in this big universe, then we're on the same or similar path. All right? Because when my spiritual awakening happened, when I finally came out of the Bible, when the last bomb was dropped by the universe, and I understood that the story of Genesis is bullshit, that the God of Moses and Abraham was bullshit, like when I finally dropped the Bible, the first thing I said, I understood was, well, I don't have to believe in a God, but I know there is a force, a source that created all this, that made all this possible. Okay? So I'm just going to refer to myself as a child of the universe. And then I remembered a poem that I knew when I was little. I don't remember all of it. Oh my gosh, I don't have it memorized. But it's called The Desiderata by Max Ehrman. All right. My mom had it hanging at our house, framed, hanging at our house. I don't even think she knew the importance of that poem. But anyway, I told her about it, and she told me her husband, my stepdad, got it for her. I don't think she ever paid attention to it. But it's amazing. In fact, let me end with that poem, because that is what I embraced after I came out of the Bible 100%. That is what I embraced, and the universe started guiding me. I started listening to consciousness conversations about the universe, about creation, about us, who we are, and what the universe is about. And finally, the universe brought me to astrology and all this beautiful stuff that I'm learning. But let me end with The Desiderata by Max Ehrman. Okay, I gotta put on my reading glasses. Let me pull this up. I have my iPad with me. Desiderata. Hold on, where is it? Okay. Hold on. I'll read it to you. Okay. It says, The Desiderata, Words of Life by Max Ehrman. Okay. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Okay. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain and bitter. For always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements, as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself, okay? Be yourself. Especially, do not feign affection, all right? Neither be cynical about love. I don't know, I'm a little bit cynical about love, but whatever. Neither be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass, all right? Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in certain misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Okay? Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. All right? This is my favorite part. I love it all, but this is my favorite part. And there's a song, and I love that part. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be. In fact, I will say, whatever you conceive it to be. Okay? Or whatever you conceive him or her to be. Okay? And whatever your labors and aspirations, in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its charm, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful and strive to be happy. All right? So this is my script for life. This is the one script for life that I will follow. Now, I do read, I would listen to like a holy book or not, but whatever. For me, it's about love. For me, it's about I'm a child of the universe. For me, it's about do unto others as you would have them do unto you. For me, it's the simple stuff. Enjoy your life, follow your bliss. Don't harm other people, Just follow your path, okay? And that part that I love, it goes in the song, you are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. There you have it. The universe is unfolding as it should, whether it is clear to you or not, whether you know it or not. And let me tell you, I never thought there would be a day in my life again where I would never be a follower of Jesus Christ. I never thought there would be a day in my life when I would not believe in the Bible. I never thought that. In fact, if you had told me 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that Shandama, in 2026, you will be saying all this other stuff about the universe and you will not be following Jesus, I would have rebuked you all the way to the lake of fire. But the universe is unfolding as it should. Okay? The universe is unfolding as it should. Christianity was only a karmic journey that I had to take that lasted for 30 years. 30 plus. About 31. The Bible, let me put it that way. It was a karmic journey. I'm learning all this through Vedic astrology. I'm learning all this through astrology, that I was led into Christianity at that point in 1992. And I was led out of it. Well, the journey out of it started in 2022, December. All right, so that was 30 years later. and it's all karmic. And I had to go cop some lessons, some teachings about purity, sexual purity, about forsaking this world. And because according to Vedic astrology, according to my birth chart, the main purpose of my soul here in this world right now in this incarnation is moksha, to achieve oneness with the divine, to achieve self-realization and all that good stuff. And I had to go cop those teachings through Christianity and make them my disciplines. And then I was led right back out of it. Okay, because I had to come live my life in the real way that I'm supposed to live it, not following somebody called Jesus. That is a lie. All right. So, anywho, I am so excited to share my journey, to get back to doing videos, to get back to posting on YouTube. Because, I don't know how much longer I have in this world, and I definitely want to be who I'm supposed to be, do the things I'm supposed to do. Okay? I don't have to be Oprah Winfrey. I don't have to be the King of England or whatever, the Queen of England. But this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Each of us is a light. Okay? And we should let our light shine in the way that it should. In astrology, you have a sun sign. Oh, you don't just have a sun sign, you have everything. You have a sun sign, you have a moon sign, you have a rising sign. All right? These are the three major energies, zodiac energies, that make you who you are. And then the rest of the zodiac rules, each zodiac sign rules an area of your life. So you might as well love all the zodiac energies because you have them all in your life. Okay? You need to wait till we get to the part where I'll be showing you birth charts and explaining things. And then you'll be looking at your own birth chart and stuff like that. But yes, your sun is here to shine. Your sun sign is based on the date on the calendar that you were born. I was born on July 5th. And so my sun sign is Gemini. And I know July 5th, Western astrology says it is Cancer. It is a lie. That's bullshit. Because Western astrology placements are 24 degrees forward, 24 degrees ahead. They're off. They're wrong. This is why half the people or most of the people don't believe in astrology, because they don't resonate with the zodiac energies that they say they are, I never resonated with Cancer sun. Now, when I was ignorant back in the day when I was younger, they say you're Cancer. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a Cancerian. All right. I didn't know anything. I just accepted it and identified with it. I didn't know. They say Cancerians are moody. Cancerians are homebodies. I'm a homebody. So I thought, okay, yeah, I'm a Cancerian. But that's a lie. I'm a Gemini sun. But my ascendant is Taurus. My chart ruler is in Taurus. Saturn is also sitting there. And Taurus is a homebody as well. And in Cancer, I have 3 planets. I have Mercury, my Mars, my Mercury, and I have the South Node K2 in Cancer, my 3rd house. So that also makes me a homebody. And my moon is in the 12th house of my chart. That makes me a pure isolation lover. I love being isolated. I love being at home. Literally in the bedroom. So it's not just one thing that does something on your chart. You have different things that signify how you are, what you are, who you are, why you're here, the things you're into, the things you're not into, and how you live life, how you experience this world. Okay? So, but anyways, yes, on July 5th, Western astrology's sun is 24 degrees ahead already in Cancer. But on the true real time placement of the sun, according to NASA and according to Vedic astrology, the sun is still in the constellation of Gemini on July 5th. And so I am a Gemini sun, not a Cancer sun. Everything I have been taught in this world, I had to unlearn. I had to throw away, starting with the Bible. Everything about the God of Moses, Jesus, and whatnot, I had to throw it because it's all bullshit. Western astrology, bullshit. Now, I do love Western astrologers. Listen, I don't understand why they stay Western astrologers when they know that Vedic astrology exists, true placements of the planets exist. Why do they preach bullshit placements? I literally heard a Western astrologer say, she was talking about a fixed star. I don't remember which fixed star. It's in Scorpio. But in Western astrology, they'll tell you it's in Sagittarius, the next zodiac sign, because again, like I said, their placements are 24 degrees ahead. So she said, well, in reality, that fixed star is in Scorpio, 24 degrees back in Scorpio. You know, Western astrology placements are, what did she refer to them as? Symbolic. I don't need bullshit symbolic placements in my life. Tell me where the stars are, for real, in real time, according to NASA and according to Vedic. All right? Yes, because that's the true energy that's at work in my life. Don't give me no bullshit symbolic placements. So yes, let me tell you, if you have thought, if Western astrology told you that you are what you may call it, a July Leo, you are not. There's no such thing as a July Leo. All right? There's July there's July Gemini and July Cancer. All right? Leo starts in August. So if you're born on July 21st, July 17th, July 21st, July 28th, July whatever, you're not a Leo. You are a Cancer. You're a Cancerian, my friend. Leo starts in August, mid-August into mid-September. That's Leo. That's how all the zodiac signs, okay? So if, for example, you were born in March at some point and you think you're an Aries, if you're born, you're Pisces, all right? You're Pisces. There are no March Arians. Aries begins in mid-April, all right? Mid-April. Same thing for all the zodiac energies. So it's my pleasure to share these truths that I'm learning with you, and you'll study your energies and you'll understand yourself. If you're interested, if you're not, please keep it moving. All right? I'm not here to evangelize. This is not about Jesus. There's no hell to cast you into if you don't like astrology or numerology or whatever I'm talking about. There's no hell to tell you you're going to. No, hell is a lie. This world is hell and heaven all at once, okay? And when we die, we go to where we came from. And if we did not get everything right, we're going to reincarnate. We'll come back as somebody else. All right? Yes, this is why this world is so messed up. This is why so much is going on, because there's so much karma in this world. We're bags of karma. We're bags of energy. And we're bags of karma. Okay? So, but anyways, okay, I have already spoken too much. But this is just an introduction of the type of things I'm going to be talking about. Just sharing my beliefs, because this is the shit that makes me happy. All right? This is the shit that I enjoy in this world, okay? I enjoy vanilla ice cream, French vanilla, to be more specific. My favorite ice cream is Trader Joe's, French vanilla, all right? I enjoy that too. I enjoy good food. I enjoy clean water. I enjoy nice fragrances. I enjoy nice things, the nice things of life, okay? I don't chase after them, but I enjoy them, okay? When I have them, I enjoy them, all right? But when it comes to the things on my mind and the conversations I like to have, okay, this is the shit that makes my that floats my boat. Okay? All right. Well, it was very nice talking to you. It's the 5th of January. I did say I was going to start I was going to hit the ground running in 2026, and we're here. I've started, this is my first video, and well, for my YouTube channel, and I'm going to stay consistent with the help of the universe. Alrighty. Well, it was very nice talking to you. Have a good one, and all the best this 2026, okay? I know the true New Year does not. This is the Gregorian New Year. There are different types of New Years. The Chinese New Year is all the way in February and March, all right? The fake Jews already had the New Year in October, or September, October, Rosh Hashanah, okay? Like, and I call them fake Jews because they're fake, whatever. And then, you know, your real New Year is probably your birthday, okay? Because that's the day you came out of the womb. Whatever calendar you use, that's the day you came out of the womb. So that's your New Year. But the universe doesn't really care, okay? As long as you acknowledge the energies, as long as you align with the energies of the cosmos, all right? Okay, have a good one. See you another time. Bye. Love you.